good morning. Here I am in Ballater again. The last newsletter that you saw was, I think, back at the beginning of December 2021. And I'm sitting here on Friday, the 11th of February. And it's been a pretty busy, pretty eventful couple of months. The very observational of you might notice I've got a little bit of a tan. I did go away for a fortnight to a nice place called the Body Holiday for a bit of sunshine and a little bit of good food and a little bit of exercise. So I'm feeling refreshed and ready to go. And I'm actually sitting, as I still send you the newsletter on this video format by public demand, and I'm sitting in the middle of our first ever show. So most of you will know that the gallery opened in June 2019, about a year and a half ago, 2.5 years ago. And we had planned to do many shows, perhaps starting, in fact, about 2 years ago. But we never got around to it because the pandemic got in the way. So this is our very first show. I'm not going to go walking around here because this is very much a newsletter format to let you all know what's been selling, what's coming in, what's the activity been like at the Ballater Gallery. But we're in the middle of the flower show. So this had been an idea whereby for the start of the year, we've got January over and done with, we'd bring a bit of joy and step into springtime, if you like, in this newsletter and in the gallery as a whole. So I'm delighted to say that we've not even been open for, about a week, and quite a few sales. So that's pleasing me and it's pleasing our artists. So that's a little bit about where I am, why we've got the excitement of the first show, and a little bit of a tip also. We are going to be, when we finish the show on the 3rd or 4th of March, we go straight into our second show. So it's like buses, it all comes at once, and nothing before it. So we are going to be having, because we're an hour from Aberdeen, and obviously we've got a lot of customers in Aberdeen, so we are going to have a pop-up show at the Chester Hotel, a 4-person show. We will be showing about 10 paintings from David Smith, Alison Cowan, Cecilia Cardiff, and Marion Drummond, who, funny enough, there's a beautiful painting by her right behind me. So that is by public demand so that all the Aberdeen people can come and see us for a 3-day event over the weekend, first weekend of March, and we are bringing paintings to them which aren't with galleries in Aberdeen. So that's a little bit about the future. So you can keep an eye out for the new paintings at that show. We're not probably going to be letting you know what's in the show until a couple of weeks' time. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about what's been happening. As I'm talking to you, paintings will be dropping in. So I'm going to start about a painting which I actually, John, my specialist courier, and I only hung in a wonderful house just outside Aberdeen on Tuesday, and it was the Stuart Luke Gatherer painting called Ushkaby. Some of you will be saying Ushkaby. Have a look at this painting. You're looking at it now. Ushkaby means the water of life in Gaelic, and it arrived here on, I think, last Monday, and we sold it on the Wednesday. It is a truly stunning painting, 40 by 50 inches, so that's roughly speaking 5 feet by 4 feet, £14,000, and by the one and only Stuart Luke Gatherer. And that's now pride of place in one of the most beautiful dining rooms I've ever seen in a traditional Victorian house. While we're talking about Stuart Luke Gatherer, there are a couple of totally different paintings to Ushkaby. We've got On the Road Again, quite a biggish painting of two young women looking as if they're going to a rock concert. We've got Make Hay, much smaller painting, and The Candle. Absolutely wonderful paintings of really capturing the faces, the tears, the mood, the story by Stuart Luke Gatherer. So we'll then jump, that's what's been happening with Stuart. Joe Hargan, without doubt, I think we are selling, we're his top selling gallery now, And Joe Hargan, we sold a great big painting that was actually featured in the last newsletter called Whodunit. So Whodunit, if you have a look, it'll remind you here. Superb, probably about 38 by 38 inches. I think it was about 11,000, and that sold, as did two smaller paintings in December by Joe, Little Burger, I did say Little Burger, and Birthday Boy, all sold. And I'm delighted to say that we now have 3 new paintings in from Joe Hargan, which are really different. It's very flattering that Joe has allowed us a painting called A Place of Your Own, which actually won the PEI, the Paisley Institute's award. It is utterly stunning. It's 8,500. We have another painting that's so different you wouldn't really know that it was a Joe Hargan, called Sadari in Corfu. And we have a more classic small painting called In the Pink. Moving on, as you'll see behind me, we have a absolutely beautiful painting here by Marion Drummond called Pinks and Pears, literally just off her easel. Look at the fuchsia pinks, the turquoises. I hate to tell you, but by the time you see this, that could well have sold. And going back to Marion, I think we just sold last week her large pink lilies, which is now in a really lovely house in, just in the north side of Edinburgh. Beautiful big drawing room, grand piano next to it, and large pink lilies. My goodness, it's 48 by 30 inches, and it just looks at home. And another painting which we featured in the newsletter in December called Stargazing. I think it was about 3 feet by 3 feet, plus the frame, sold for about 6,000. That's now in a beautiful house in the south side of Glasgow. So we're taking these paintings and they're really working in some of these Central Belt houses. Talking about artists who've been selling a lot during December, I'm delighted to say that Tony Allen, who's one of our newer artists and doesn't paint as many as some of the others, and he paints primarily with pastels, and I would say as an expert, he brings life, he brings happiness. And have a look at Snow at Ballach and Loch Earn with boys as in boys that float in the Loch Earn. These have they've actually sold as a pair to a very erudite buyer not far from Ballater, just on the road up to Braemar, and they are gorgeous paintings. But while I'm talking about Tony Allen, have a look at the 2 new paintings which have just arrived by him. They're obviously not in the gallery until the flower show is over, but look at Low Tide, look at River Coe. They actually, again, could look terrific as a pair. I actually had somebody phone me yesterday, have you anything new by Muriel Barclay? I've nothing by Muriel at the moment, because her painting, which I think we featured again recently, was the Barra Ashton Lane. Can I tell you, I could have sold the Barra Ashton Lane 4 times. Cracking big painting, about £7,000 or £8,000, and Muriel has got people waiting with us to buy her work. We have beautiful new paintings, landscapes by Roseanne Barr. Have a look at Fleet on a Blustery Day. Have a look at Aqua Sailing. Look at the way that Roseanne Barr paints seas and boats, and her work is just glorious. I'm going to rattle on because we have so much happening just now. George Birrell has painted 2 just beautiful new paintings for us. We've got Riverside Castle. I love the colours. Tom will show you this. Look at it. Look at the colours. This is 24 by 30. And he's also just finished a painting using lots of blue. Beautiful, called The Village Houses. Michael Clark. We had a superb run of sales of Michael Clark's paintings. I mean, Michael Clark's a very big name. We sold Windy Day on the Links. Have a look at that one. We sold Bordeaux. Michael spends a lot of time in France. And we sold Bordeaux bottles. And we sold Golfer and Junior Caddy, all within a month. And have a look at his two new paintings, white dress and interior with a little black dress. How beautiful would these look in a dressing room or a bedroom? Just really beautiful. I want you to have a look also at Liz Knox paintings, which were sold. Liz, again, these are people who have been long established in the Scottish art scene. And Liz Knox's Sunflowers and Windows, I've seen it in its new home. It's utterly superb. And then also her Lilies was snapped up and is sitting beautifully in a Fife holiday house. There's a new painting by Liz that's just arrived. Tom will drop it in now. It's called The Watcher. It's 32 by 40 inches, and the colours are really, frankly, superb. Christine MacArthur, you know, she's been on a run. Again, I've mentioned about Christine MacArthur before. You know, sells very well at Kensington Galleries and Ainscough. And, you know, I've spoken about the simplicity of her paintings, but, you know, the chairman of John Lewis bought her paintings, as I say, for the restaurant at Peter Jones in Sloane Square, for the restaurant at John Lewis in Glasgow. Look at the two new paintings, Tom, on the wall there, by Christine MacArthur, which are in the flower show. They look superb as a pair. We've got tulips in a yellow pot, we've got striped stems. She also just here, look at these cracking little paintings of strawberries and raspberries. To be able to get a Christine MacArthur for £950 is rare. Next to it, a superb painting of Barbara Hepworth's Cacti 2. And look at this utterly glorious early bright. So Christine's been in a role, and you know, her asparagus sold, her kumquat sold, all in December, and as I mentioned, her other cacti painting. Going on, Georgina McMaster, in the window for the flower show, Tom will show you, we have Raspberry Ripple, but we had another big painting called the Crown Jewels, sold like that, 2 days. Going on talking about paintings which have sold very quickly, Ryan Mutter dropped off 2 paintings. You know, Ryan Mutter's paintings are classic. The engineering, the architecture of the painting, the mood of the men post-recession. And we sold, I Belong. Have a look at I Belong. It was here for 1 day and sold. And we've a new painting called Efter, the Bells. And I think I've got Efter or After in the vernacular to get the pronunciation right. It's £2,400 and it's an absolute cracker. Talking about some of the other names that we've got around at the moment, I do need to rattle on. I can see Tom winding me up a bit here. Anna Oram, again, she's had a great run. She's one of the biggest names in Scottish art. Her Meadows Blossom, her Willow in the Early Morning. These paintings both sold instantly. We had another much bigger painting, Table with Chinese Lanterns, sold. But I would also love you to look at her new work, which obviously are the paintings without the red dots. But look at, well, there's a little one there, Tom, Poppies and Other Spring Flowers, which is beautiful. However, I would love you to look at the little painting there. Well, it's not that little, of dahlias in the window. It is absolutely superb. And in fact, have a look at Robert Kelsey's paintings here. Robert Kelsey is really known very much for his landscapes, but again, for the flower show, he painted a couple of new paintings. Tom, we've just sold the Gordon Wilson painting at the top, but Gordon Wilson, again, is on a bit of a roll with us, and his Ouija Lockdown, which we featured back in the December newsletter, is now in, where is it now? It's in its home, I think, in Ely, actually. And talking again about Robert Kelsey, Robert he had another painting with us which sold like that, and it was called Arisaig Sunset, and it was called Egg and Rum from Arisaig. That was what it was called. And then there was Arisaig Sunset. Both sold very quickly, and I urge you to look at a brand new Robert Kelsey painting of Dornoch Beach. So many of us know Dornoch, and it's superb. Alistair Little, again, big name here. We had a painting that arrived and sold in 3 days called Maun, M-A-U-N. And Alistair's painting for us at the moment, so keep an eye out for what's available by him. Stanley Bird, Jackie Henderson, Linda Park, they've all been selling very, very well, and they're all painting for us, and new paintings are arriving daily. So my time's over. I hope the little, in fact, Tom, you might want to just do, as I'm talking, a very quick kind of glance around here for the people who are on our mailing list at the flower show, rather than me waffle on. But also, I think what's important to let everybody know on our mailing list, we, as of now, are open 6 days a week rather than 7. We've decided that basically we need a day off, so we're going to be closed every Tuesday. So please remember that the gallery premises will be closed on a Tuesday, but as always, you can drop me an email at david at ballotergallery.co.uk. I have another email address at Aberdeen, but so david at ballotergallery.co.uk, or just get in touch with us through the website. When you look in the website and you show an interest in a painting, you can then press the inquire button. Remember, if the red dot's there, it's sold. So hopefully this has given you an idea of what's been going on in Ballater over the last couple of months, what we're planning to do. We're in the middle of the flower show. We're going into a 4-person show in Aberdeen. And then by that time, we're really right into spring. And all of our sort of 40 or so stable are working on new paintings for us at the moment. So I hope to see you in Ballater soon. And remember that we're travelling around Central Belt and couriering to London most weeks. All right, thanks for listening.